Hello, hello. I don't need my glasses. Sir David the Bard. Sir David the Bard. I'm coming to you in the dark. Why is it in the dark? Let me shut my door. Don't let the Danites in here. That didn't help work. Crap. Anyway, Sir David the Bard, I'm coming to you from Honeyville, Utah. And if you've never heard of Honeyville, Utah, you're not the only one. They have a place up here that's called, it's a hot springs. I had it on the tip of my tongue, but my tongue goes down to the ground. I have so many words on the tip of my tongue. It's something springs, hot springs. So it's not Silver Springs. That's hot springs down in Florida. Anyway, great place. Cheap, $4, $5, $6 to get in. Kids, and the temperature is good there. For the Bard, the temperature is good. Some of these other hot springs, it says if you have heart problems, get the hell out of here. And I do. And I do. So anyway, Silver Springs, I think it's called Hot Springs. Anyway, I wanted to do a video here. And I've been thinking about this, and I'm sure I'm going to lose it. I'm sure I'm going to lose it. Now, one of my gentlemen said, well, why don't you record it on your video camera, then upload it? Well, I've done that. When I first started my company, this ain't no company. There's no license, Danites. There's no money, Danites. There's nothing. An old man sitting in the closet. When I started recording, I used to load it up on my camera and then download it or upload it on the computer, and it took 5 or 6 hours per video. And if I do 3 or 4 in a day, you know, my computer's tied up for a day and a half. So when I found out I could do it on YouTube, and it's immediately posted. So that's why I go the way I go. I've been thinking a lot about, because I live in Mormon country. I'm down here in Kangaroo City. You know, we're still looking for that airplane down there. I don't think it crashed. I think it landed. Bard could be wrong. I don't think it crashed. Anyway, a lot of our kangaroos down here carry triple combinations in their pouch. You have to reach in their pouch. Maybe that's where the Mormons get reaching in the 14-year-old pants. I don't know. Anyway, you know me. I'm kind of an activist. That's probably a mild word for me. When I see indiscretion and I see selective enforcement and I see discrimination, there's just something that goes off inside my head. And God knows, I've written so many letters to the editor over a lifetime. I've been in 15 lawsuits that I started, and mostly one. I lost one lawsuit, and that was it. The rest of them I've always won, and they've always settled in my favor. I've written so many complaints to school districts and principals, and God knows how many idiotic people there are in the world. I got an email this morning. Said, you want to serve on a committee? Tell us where we want the money to go for the high school. I said to myself, I've been on school committees before, and I've been on mental council and mental health issues in Massachusetts and different states. Yeah, I've got a couple of master's degree and some experience. I think I'll do it. So I went down to the application. It was three lines. My name, I put Sir David the Bard. I asked for the date and my email. So I'm down there trying to type it in. You can't type it in. You can't type it in. I started at 9 o'clock in the morning. I can't type it in. So I finally called the school district. I talked to a little girl on the telephone, and she says, I don't know shit. I said, well, you're in a good school district. You're equal with the rest of them. Let me transfer you here. Let me transfer you. I said, okay. What choice do I have? No, don't transfer me. I want to talk to you. You're an idiot, and you have no authority and no idea what I'm talking about. No transfer. Shoot myself in both feet. So she transfers me. Well, I get somebody who is older, and she says, well, Maybe you don't have the right updated Oracle, or PDF, or ABC, or screw me. And I said, listen, lady, I get over 100 emails a day. I can open every one of them. Every time I get one from your school district, it's screwed. Well, the principal set it out. I said, well, then the principal's an idiot. Now, this is a school district. I had a no trespass order issued against me, so I'm trying to be kind. So she says, well, all I can do is talk to the principal. I said, no transfer. I'm just going to talk to you. I don't know anything. I said, well, you're in a good group. The principal didn't give you an email, didn't give you a memo that he was sending this out to the community on all the parents who are going to have a 10th grader over there. No, he didn't. I said, well, Jesus. I said, all right, give it to the principal. He won't call back. I know your school district. He won't call back. Well, to my surprise, he calls back. And he says, I understand that you think that I'm stupid. Well, don't screw with the Bard, because he ain't gonna bend it one way or the other. So I said, well, sir, I never mentioned your intelligence. I think you were negligent. That went over like a turd in a punch bowl. So he said, well, I never tested that form. I said, that's obvious. Taking me 15, 20 seconds to fill it out. I've been at it 2 hours. See, my time's not valuable. You're getting paid by the hour there. I'm not. I'm trying to help volunteer. How bad do you want to volunteer? So, well, we want them bad. I'll go back and check the form. Make sure you can type in on it. I said, okay. That sounds good. That sounds good. So anyway, I didn't want to argue about his intelligence because I would have won. And my daughter would be banned, blackballed at the school. So anyway. Here's what I want to just kind of capitalize on this video. You and me need to say something. If we don't, nothing is going to change in this world. Now, I know the saying, you can't fight City Hall. I'm going to say you can't fight City Hall and win, but you can fight City Hall. And when you get politicians and or elected people or people receiving a good salary, and you bring it to public awareness that they're an idiot, sometimes you get small changes. Now, I know a lot of you go, well, screw it. I ain't going to say shit. I ain't going to do shit because they'll blackball me. I'll lose my job. I'll lose my wife. My kids will run away. And all that's true. And the Bard knows all that's true. But let me tell you something. Many of you don't have the time and the resources that I do. I have enough of a law background that I can sue people generally. If it gets complex, then, we have to settle, or I just motion them to death. And they go, God damn, this is costing us $1 million in motions. And they go, okay, we give up. What do you want? So anyway, not everybody can do that. You have to have the time. You have to have the money. You have to have the knowledge. You have to be able to fight, and then they write you back and say, demur, you're an idiot, even if this is all true, it ain't going nowhere, and the code is here and the code is there. I just had an ambulance company bill me $888.08. No, I didn't write it to New York from California. I was out in Evanston, Wyoming. I told you this. It's on a video somewhere. And I tried to kill myself again and failed again. It makes me feel bad that I just can't follow through. I've been successful at everything in my life except the 5 marriages that went down the tube. But anyway, the highway patrol pulled me over, and I had overdosed on my insulin on purpose. And there were like 150 insulin needles laying on the floor in the passenger side. He pulled me over and he said, we think you're impaired. I said, I passed that truck pretty good. He says, no, you didn't. I thought I did. He said, no, you didn't. and he says, you have two choices. And that's more than I usually get from the authorities. So I said, okay, what's A? He says, A is, we're going to handcuff you, drag your ass into jail for driving impaired and under the influence of whatever you're under. I said, okay, what's B? B's got to be better. He said, well, we're going to call an ambulance and we're going to send you to the hospital because you're out of your mind. I said, well, oh, that's true. Let's do 2. So they call an ambulance, and it was a ride, I don't know, 50, 60 miles. And so I went to the hospital, and they cut my clothes off. And I escaped. I ran outside of the hospital, and I'm in the neighborhood with no shirt on, no shoes in the middle of winter, and knocking on doors, and nobody says, what is wanted? They just said, get the hell out of here. He's an escapee from the hospital. Well, the police showed up again and said, hey, it's just a bard. He's wandering the neighborhood. And the hospital personnel came out, and I was stuck in a ditch that was wet, and I slipped and fell down into a ditch. And so the hospital personnel had wheelchairs, but they had to pull me up out of the ditch, and there was this young nurse, and she was grabbing me by the hand and say, come on, get up and go. And I said, I can't. She says, all right, grab my butt and just hang on. Hell, the bard can do that anytime, even if I'm on death row. Give me that little butt. I'll get up there. So she walked up the hill and dragging this 300-pound bard behind her. And when we got up there, she said, well, you can let go now. And I said, I think I'm going to fall back in. So anyway, the ambulance company sends me a bill. Now, let me tell you some secrets, okay? If you're on Social Security and you have no assets, you can't be sued. Your pay is exempt. You can't touch Social Security in a collection agency. Well, this was a county ambulance anyway, and the county people ought to pay for it, I think. So, and I didn't order the ambulance. The police ordered the ambulance. Well, anyway, they sent me a collection agency bill, and I just wrote a note to them and said, you know, under Utah law, Code 30, which we use down here in Kangaroo City, a spouse is not responsible for the other spouse's debt unless it's co-signed. If both people sign it, now both people are responsible. But, you know, the bard don't allow nobody to sign anything except me. And so my wife, Mercy, is not responsible, and I had to write him back and say, you're all idiots. Look up the Wyoming code and look up the Utah code. I'm exempt, and she signed nothing. She owes nothing. So anyway, I know if you own an ambulance company, you go, turn that asshole off. That's okay. I didn't order the ambulance. The police could have taken me in the back seat of their car. That would have been free. So anyway, being unconscious, I don't think that had anything to do with an ambulance. I woke up a few times, but they still put me in the hospital. Anyway, we can't change the world. But you know what? Let me tell you something about the law. I went in the other day and I complained about the city allowing private companies to put up signs to make money on fences that are owned by the public. And they said, well, we've been doing this since Joseph Smith, and it must be true. And I said, well, the blacks, we were doing it against the blacks for 200 years, and now it's not right that they have equality. Well, anyway, I won the argument, but the mayor won the case, because I've gone down and there's still signs down there. So he's going, screw the bard, screw the bard, screw the bard. Now let me tell you where you can get them. You don't have. I love to write letters because I'm college educated. We always were taught anything over the phone, everyone denies. Anything verbally, everyone lies. But you put it in writing and you send it and you keep a copy of it and you show that to a damn judge, he's going to assume you've seen that. Well, the other thing you can do is, if you can't write a letter and you don't have the resources or the time, you can call, or you can say something and then record your call and record who you spoke to. Now, here's what you can do. If it ever goes to a trial or ever goes to a hearing, it's probably just going to political pressure on them when people keep calling. But if it ever goes to a trial or an issue where a judge looks at it, you can easily say, Mr. Smith, on February 19th at 7:30 in the morning on your phone line, didn't Mr. Smith 2 call you and tell you those signs were not allowed on public property? He's going to have to say yes. The Mormons don't think you're ever going to take him to court. So they go, no, it's in verbal. No, I didn't say that. Oh, I didn't mean that. Well, you put it in writing, and suddenly the Mormons give in. Anytime you sue a Mormon, they give up. They immediately give up because they know they're always in a weak position. But you got to stand up to them. So people in Utah, stand up to the Mormons. I think I'm going to do a petition drive. Here's my idea. I was going to go over to City Hall and put up a little card table like they do in California. I don't know if you can do that here in Kangaroo City, and put up a sign that says non-members only. Non-members only. And I'll have a petition, and it'll say, you know, selective enforcement on the signs. The Mormon church can put signs up, but the Church of the Devil can't. Have all the non-members. I think that would upset the Mormon community. That there's enough non-members now that can put up a petition that I can send off to the legislature and to the mayor and say, look, here's 890 people in your community that think those signs ought to come down. So, I'm old. I have to pass the gauntlet, some of these ideas. But anyway, before I lose this video, I just want to make sure you have health and enable, marrow on the bones, strength in the loins and in the sinews, power in the priesthood be upon me and my posterity through all generations of time and throughout all eternity. At least say something, make a phone call. Let's all try to make it a better world. Thanks. Bard gone.